What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, the very first thing you're going to notice is that I am not inside a bowling alley. I actually came here to film, and the bowling alley was full with sweepers, so they didn't have any lanes available. So I'm filming inside of my Jeep. So shout out to my Jeep Gladiator Rubicon for being my filming studio today. And actually, the lighting's really good in here compared to inside the bowling alley. So we're just going to make do with what we have. So the video that we're going to talk about today is my top 5 bowling balls through May. We've been doing this every single month, just kind of going, to keep myself accountable so that when we get to the end of the year, we have something to look back on. And I'm going to reach into my bag here because I do want to show you guys before we get into the top 5. My new chamois is available again, and actually I'll take it out, a little ASMR here for you guys. I'll take it out of the bag. So this is the new chamois. You're gonna see that it has the white border, or the red border here, sorry, instead of the black border, and it is very, very thick, very premium feel. These are available now. I have very, very few on hand. The bulk of them is going to be online, so you have to go there to order one if you want. It's designed to look like a 500 grit chamois, very thick, very premium feel. That is available through the link down below in the description. And it's a direct way to help support me and what I'm doing here. I would super appreciate it. If you like this jersey that I'm wearing, I was all excited about wearing this jersey today on the lanes. You go to efx.co, promo code Napoles10. So the list is going to be a little bit different than last month. I actually didn't even look at what the list was for the last few months. I just decided I'm going to go based on what I'm throwing a lot of right now. Some of the balls that I just really, really like. So when I have my list here of what my top 5 balls are through May. I have not, like I said, I didn't look to see what the top 5 was in April or March or February or January. I'm just going based on my favorite balls right now. What I will say is that the Black Widow Mania has officially fallen off the top 5. I remember talking about it the last couple of videos that we went over the top 5 bowling balls. The performance has changed so drastically since initially drilling the ball and throwing it for a few games and changing the surface. Out of the box, it could have been one of the best balls of the year, if not the best ball of the year. But because of how different it was, I could never get it back to box. That one's off the list. The Hypnotize is off the list now as well. I was talking to my buddy Chris, and one of the things that we talked about is, when you shoot such a horrible game with a ball, it kind of turns you off of it a little bit. And while I didn't have any bad games with the Hypnotize, I did have that front 930 for 249. And since then, it's been all downhill. I just have not matched up well with that ball. So coming in at number 5, let me look at my list here just to make sure. We have number 5, the Radical Torpedo Direct Hit. Now, you guys know that I've been hypercritical about Radical in the past. And this ball, I thought it was going to be a meme ball. And to an extent it is. I don't really see a whole lot of people throwing this ball. But as a two-hander who is not throwing the ball very fast, it is a really, really good option for me. And because of that, it's still in my top 5. I imagine that it won't be in my top 5 at the end of the year. But when I think of what makes it so good, with polish, it was pretty good with polish. But I think what separated that Radical Torpedo Direct Hit for me was when I changed the surface. Once I hit it with, I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000, it really opened up the possibilities for this ball. It allowed me to throw it on the fresh with a little bit more success. With the polish, I had to be really, really soft with my hands. The lanes had to be a little bit more broken down. And I just felt like what made it really good was throwing it on the fresh. So yeah, the Radical Torpedo Direct Hit is going to come in at number 5. And just to clarify some things, the balls on this list are only balls that are released in 2025 that I have reviewed. So as an example, IQ Tour Solid, right, will not be on this list because it did not come out in 2025. Conversely, the IQ AI also will not be on this list because even though it came out in 2025, I didn't review that ball. So this is just strictly my opinion. Just hey, what does Lewis like the most? What is he throwing the most? Spoiler alert, number one hasn't changed. It's still the same ball, which we'll get to in a second. And the more that time passes, the more I like that ball. But we'll give that one its flowers when we get there. So coming in at number 4, we're actually talking about the Storm Identity. And one thing that you're going to notice is that every single ball on this list is an asymmetrical ball, which is very, very strange. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of this whole two-handed thing now. I've really liked the asymmetric balls a lot. Maybe because my ball speed's a little bit lower and I have to start a little bit further left. Maybe. Not really sure. All I know is that I really like the asymmetrics right now. So coming in at number 4, like I said, the Storm Identity. And I think it's because I hit it with surface. Because if you remember in the initial review, I said that I liked it, but I felt like it didn't have an, for lack of a better word, identity. With the polish, it was clean and very quick down lane, but the core wanted it to be a little bit. So it felt like it was fighting itself a little bit, wanting to be earlier and a little bit rounder, but the polish really pushed it down lane, really wanted it to create some motion down lane. So hitting it with the 2000 finish, again, changing that surface from the out of box, made it a little bit earlier, a little bit smoother, but it still retained a lot of what made it really good. It still shaped a ton down lane. It still was a really, really good ball. And, like the first 2 balls on this list would not be on this list had I never changed the surface of them. And I think that's one of the most important things, one of the biggest things in this game that we play. Again, game, whatever. That's for another video. Is if you don't like a ball when you first drill it, don't get rid of it. Don't plug in and re-drill it. Change the surface first. Because like I said, both of those balls with the out-of-box finish would not be on my list. And then, coming in at number 3, let me just double check what it is here. Yeah, we're talking about the Lethal Venom for Motive. It's a really, really, really good ball. If you remember my ball of the year last year, I'm like 99% sure was the Hammer Effect Tour. The Lethal Venom is a lot of similarities to that ball, right? It's a baby asim, strong, solid cover. If I need something to keep in front of me, the Lethal Venom is just it. Very similar to the Effect Tour. It's not a ball that I'm going to throw a whole lot on house. And I'm not bowling nationals this year, but if I was bowling nationals this year, you could bet your life savings that ball would be in my arsenal for sure. It's a ball that it's very early, it's very round, it's very familiar is a word that I can use to describe this ball. So that's my top 3 so far. 3 different brands so far. One was Radical, one was Storm, one was Motive. There isn't going to be a new brand in my top 2 now. And I just want to give a quick shout out to myself, Napoles Media. From now on, this logo is going to be retired. So if you guys have anything with this logo, it's officially going to be retired. Everything is going to be transitioning over to Napoles Media. Napoles Media is a media company that I have started. It's going to be the de facto sponsor of this video. But if you or anyone is looking for any kind of professional video work done, professional photography done, it could be anything. Business, if you're going on vacation, you want someone to shoot some videos for you, let me know. Just please reach out to me. The email is going to be Luis, Luis, at napolesmedia.com. That's NAPOLESMEDIA.com. Please, I'm doing referrals, so or like finder's fee. So if you guys find someone that needs work done, you will be compensated with a finder's fee, maybe a jersey, maybe a chamois, maybe monetary compensation. But if you need any work done like that, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Again, Napoles Media is going to be the sponsor of the video. I go like this because it's not a paid sponsorship. It's my own company. Number two. All right, number two is the first new ball on this list. All the other balls have been on this list basically all year. Number two is actually the EJ Jackal. And I feel very weird about putting this ball on this list because it is a limited edition release. It's not a ball that's going to be readily available. If you're watching this video in June or July or August or, past that, there's a chance that it may not be available. I know that a lot of distributors ordered more than what was pre-ordered. Same thing with pro shops. They ordered more than were actually pre-ordered. But this ball is it's very, very good. It reminds me a lot of the Evoke Hysteria. Spoiler alert for number one. Earlier, stronger, smoother version of that ball. And because of that, it had to be on this list. I don't know that I love putting it on this list being a limited edition ball. I guess maybe I could have given you like a honorable mention ball, but that's not what we're doing, right? This is just my top 5. And very similar to the other balls on this list, if I was going to bowl a tournament on a pattern that I didn't know of, this ball's going to be in the bag 1,000%, right? And because we already mentioned what the number one ball is, we're going to talk about the number one ball being the Evoke Hysteria. Since the moment I have got that ball, it has been in my arsenal. It has been the number one ball in my bag. It has been the ball that I have thrown the most of. It is far and away the number one ball of the year through May. Maybe the other 4 balls on this list end up not being on this list, in the next couple months, into the end of the year. But I have a very, very hard time saying that the Evoke Hysteria won't be, top 1 or 2 at the end of the year. And if anything overtakes the Evoke Hysteria for number 1, it'll be a good year. Let's just say that. It's going to be a very good year if a ball overtakes the Evoke Hysteria. It's clean, it produces motion, but it still handles the volume in the middle part of the lane. It comes out of box at a 4,000 finish, but it looks a little bit like a higher, like it comes out of the box, it looks like maybe 5,000 out the box. But I've been routinely hitting it with like a 3,000 or 4,000, just adding a little bit more surface to it, and the ball has just been absolutely nuts. I mean, I get every single release from Motive, every single release is from the Brands of Brunswick, and I do get a lot of the Storm SPI balls. And so because of that, I've already drilled 60 balls this year. And so some balls never even make it to the league bag, depending on how they do in the review. From the moment the Evoke Hysteria, from the moment I first reviewed it, it has been in the league bag every single week since I've gotten that ball. My highest scores two-handed have all come with the Evoke Hysteria. I haven't thrown it in any tournaments or anything, but if I was bowling in a tournament, it would be in the bag regardless. So it could be a 35-foot pattern. It could be a 55-foot pattern. It's going to be in the bag just in case. So, guys, there you have it. There's my top 5 bowling balls of 2025 through May. I have to add that asterisk in there, through May. Number 5 was the Torpedo Direct Hit from Radical. Number 4 was the Storm Identity. The top 3 balls were all Motive. I'm not on Motive staff, but I do love the Motive brand. It's my favorite brand in bowling. Number 3 was the Lethal Venom. Number 2 was the EJ Jackal. And number 1, it was and is probably going to be the Evoke Hysteria. Now, the Jackal and the Evoke, again, very, very similar. Same base formula for the covers. Both have strong asymmetric cores. Both have the same finish out the box. I have them both laid out the same. To me, they're very, very good balls. But the Evoke Hysteria is the clear-cut bowling ball of the year for me. For you, it might be something completely different. But this list is, it's just my list. And I can only go based on my experience. This is not based on sales. This is not based on anything other than my opinion of bowling balls that I have reviewed. We'll see you guys in the next one. And Order a chamois. Order all of them. Please.